tell you what the problem with this camera is. I don't know, like there's no flashing button. So A, if it stops recording, I have no idea. And B, if it dies, I have absolutely no idea. And it's definitely not charged because I'm not responsible. Hi, and welcome back to another frivolous, ridiculous video where I try to talk about myself. So, those of you who know me will know that it was my birthday on the 1st of September and I turned 20. I feel extremely uncomfortable with this fact. I've always been the youngest because my birthday is 1st September, so that means that I could either have been the oldest or the youngest in my school year. But I am in fact the youngest and I always have been, and there's something about turning old, and 20 sounds old to me. It just doesn't sound right. Like, I'm the young one, everyone else is old. That's fine, they can get old, I'm not allowed to get old. I'm like Joey.
We had a deal, let the others grow old, not me.
So anyway, to celebrate this traumatic event, I decided that I would do a 20 things I've learned in 20 years. It is 20 years. Is it not 21 years? Am I not going into my 21st year? Okay, 20 things I've learned by 20. We'll settle with that. Trying to come up with things for this video was a challenge, let me tell you, because it turns out I actually don't know much. I thought I was like super wise. Turns out no. Okay, so jump right in. Number one, Buxton water is the best brand of water. We're not going to have arguments about this. I do not invite comments in the comment section. You're not allowed to talk about it. It's just fact. Evian is the worst. The second thing that I learned in my 20 years was that you cannot rely on other people for happiness. Whatever that means, whether it's about validation, whether you need to be in a relationship for whatever reason, like you need that partnership or something, you can't rely on others. You only have yourself. And that sounds dark. Don't turn off. Don't worry, it gets better. Throughout your life, things will change around you. And the only thing that is a constant is yourself. So you need to build your foundation super strongly before you start inviting other people into that I'm going to rely on you now space. You have to know who you are as a human being, and you have to stick with that because that's the only way that you will be happy. Don't be afraid to say no or to stand up for yourself. It can be pretty scary saying no, and it can be quite alienating, but this kind of goes into the last one. You'll be happier for it. You know yourself better than anyone else does. Be true to yourself. Now, this is something that I learnt about myself in these 20 years, and that is that I really value learning and challenging myself. I think that, to me, is one of the most important parts of life. Right, and as predicted, the camera died. How about that? So, you know, I just charged it a little bit and ate some soup. Where was I? Okay, so being challenged. I would always, at school, I'd much prefer to be the dumbest in a class than the smartest in a class. Being the smartest in a class and not learning anything seems completely redundant to me. I always want to be around people who know more than me. I just kind of want to be in that learning environment for the rest of my life, in whatever respect it may be. Not strictly in academia, not strictly at university, but just around smart people who can teach me cool things. All right, number 5, something else I've learned about myself is that I look like Chicken Little. I don't know if I mentioned that in my 50 facts about me. I may have. I feel like it was important. It was an important finding about myself. Working on mental health is just as important as working on physical health. I literally could not scream this loudly enough. If you are someone who values going to the gym and doing all that, I mean, I don't do that, but if you are that person, you've got to understand that working on yourself, sure, you can work on your body all you like, but it's completely pointless if your mind is not there with you. But I believe that there's absolutely no shame in getting help for your mental state if it's below average or whatever, and I think it's very important. I've also learned that the most valuable part of human existence, other than to learn, is human connection. And I think this does come above learning, but I think it also intertwines with it, like, you know, learning from other people, like kind of having those people to bounce off of. Human connection is really something quite unique to our species, I think. I mean, I have no idea because obviously all species have a connection with their own species, but I think we're able to communicate so effectively and have discussions about things and build bonds with people due to those discussions. So for me, when I was going through my existential crisis at the age of 12, looking for the meaning of life, I really found that it was in fact human connection that was so important to me, and being able to connect with those around me. I mean, they could all be zombies. You've no idea. You could be the only person who's real in this world. You could be the only person with a soul. But build a bridge, get over it. Another thing I have learned is that I am always right. It's interesting. Not much more to say. Confidence can literally get you through anything. And not necessarily natural and genuine confidence, because I don't think anyone is naturally and genuinely confident. I think a lot of people, it's kind of an act. For some it may come easier, as some people don't care as much what other people think and others are more sensitive. But seriously, if you act confident, you can get anything in this world. Anything. Psychology shows that when watching a horror movie, if you cover your eyes at a jump scare moment, so you know it's coming, and then when it happens you cover your eyes, you'll actually be more scared than if you watch, because you can conjure up something in your head that is significantly worse than what is going on the screen. Because when you watch it on the screen, you can see actually it's not that bad, but in your head, all sorts could be happening. So let's take that piece of information, let's apply it to life, shall we? Okay, so my camera's died again, and my ring light is now turned off because my computer is also dead. So just please bear with me. Okay, so we were talking about horror films and psychology and all that stuff. So, my metaphor. If you are fearful of doing something, it will not be as scary as what you think in your head. It's so much scarier to imagine something than to actually take that leap. And then you realise after you've done it, oh, that wasn't that bad at all. Obviously, we're not talking about a metaphorical leap here.
Oh no. Metaphorical leap, metaphorical leap.
But my point is, whatever you're afraid to do in your life, do it now. Because before you know it, time will have passed and you'll regret it. For example, today I did something for my therapy, for my emetophobia. If you want to watch my video on emetophobia, I will link it there, I think, there. Today I did something for my therapy, and that was to make fake vomit with this recipe that my therapist gave me.
Come on, more of it. Put the whole jar in. I reckon that's about enough. I might actually eat this.
No, you won't!
Rice pudding.
Cold rice pudding, cold chicken soup, vinegar and parmesan. You won't eat it, stop being on. Oh! Oh, thanks. Yeah, it definitely wasn't pleasant, and I've been putting it off for a week. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I survived, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the end of the world. So yeah, be fearless and conquer. If you're eating something savoury, it will most likely, like more times than not, be improved by balsamic vinegar. I don't mean that cheap, watery stuff. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about nice, thick with a QUE, balsamic vinegar. Don't knock it before you try it.
Don't knock it until you've tried it.
I'm not knocking it, but
How
it's
about
just
you
not a
don't
thing.
knock it until you tried it?
Another thing I've learned is that Lay's are better than Walkers. And these are basically the exact same brand crisps, but one tastes better and the other tastes worse. On top of this, I have learned that winning is the most important thing. It is. I don't care what others say. I don't care if people say it's a waste of time or energy. It's the most important thing. This one may take a bit of explaining, so again, bear with me. Indulge in your negative emotions. Specifically, I think sadness. I think sadness is such a great emotion to have, to be able to have, to feel that strongly about something. Like, put it in reverse. Imagine if, say you had a breakup, right, and you're very sad. Now flip it and imagine the happiness. Like that, it's such a strong emotion. Just because it's negative, I think, doesn't mean that you should try and shut it away. Doesn't mean that you should be like, I don't want to be feeling like this. Of course you don't want to be feeling like that. But think for a sec and relish in it. Be like, wow, this is really cool that I can feel this hard. This is coming from someone who doesn't really feel that hard. So I'm probably talking out of my butthole. That's just my opinion. I think just embrace being human because it's really cool. But don't annoy others. That's annoying. Don't indulge in negative emotions and then like bring it around other people. That's annoying. Keep it to yourself. This is another thing I've learned about myself. I don't want children ever. I have learned that about myself from myself. Actually, I was a monster child. And if I have me, literally the spawn of Satan, don't wish away a second in life. This is so cliche, but life goes so quickly. Even in lockdown, I know this is so hard to say since we're like going back into like second wave, it's painful. But relish in the benefits that lockdown gives you. So whether you're living at home, so I've been living at home this entire time basically, and I've been able to spend so much time with my dog, who I don't get to see if I'm at uni. Same with my family, I get to be around my family. I can work on music uninterrupted basically. Like, you know, there's some benefits of not being able to like go out the house and do things, because it means that you have more time to do the things that maybe you're putting off in your life. So if you have a hobby that you're like, oh, I should be doing this and I really want to work at this, but I just don't have the time to work at it. Yes, you do. You've been given the gift of time. But of course, that's on a really minor scale, lockdown. What I'm talking about more is just every single second of every single day, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are in life. If you're in primary school, don't waste a second of it. If you're in secondary school, don't waste a second of it. It goes too quickly. Just have fun. It died again. And I literally have to leave to get a train in 3 minutes. So many celebrities can sing. And when I say celebrities, I mean actors. That's what I meant. So many actors can sing. I learned this from Glee.
What's the capital of Ohio? Brittany.
Oh.
What?
Gwyneth Paltrow, like where was she? Where was she hiding? Kate Hudson, I mean, maybe everyone knew about this. I didn't. The next thing I learned, which was a painful lesson, was silence is not as scary as you may think. It's a very necessary thing, actually. It's very, very necessary to sit with your thoughts. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? But apparently it's good for you. And it is. I mean, I know it is. I've tried it. It's a good time. All right. I'm going to try not get too mad with this one. Judging people is the biggest waste of time and energy. You aren't harming other people by doing it. If you're having a little chit chat about someone in a negative way, I'm not saying judging in a positive way, obviously that's fine, but judging in a negative way, and if you're being malicious about it, what does that do? They don't know. They have no idea you're doing it. So that's out of the question. The only thing it does is make you feel more insecure. Because if you're doing this about other people, you put in your mind that other people are doing this about you. Just stop talking negatively about people, especially people you don't really know well, you know, just kind of general comments here and there about people. I hate being in a conversation that's talking about people in a behind their back kind of way. It's horrible. Okay, we made it to number 20. The final thing I have learned in my 20 years of existence, 20 years of existence, I know nothing. That's what I've learned. That's my fundamental lesson, is that I know nothing, except the fact that I am always right and that winning is the most important thing. But apart from that, I know nothing. I just have all these ideas. I just have all these kind of opinions based on how I've lived my life and how I've been raised and the environment within which I've been raised. And that's how I've basically formed all of my thoughts. But there is a whole world out there that I know nothing about. Nothing. I've never had a job. I've never earned money. So yeah, maybe I'll do another one of these videos when I turn 40. Who knows? Maybe I'll know some more stuff then. Life is just one big mystery and I'm just fumbling my way through it. Same as everyone else. It's not like I'm special. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or found it somewhat amusing, please subscribe. Tell me what you've learned in your existence on this planet. Maybe you could teach me something new and then I'll know a little bit more than I did. And I will see you next Saturday.